About different design methods from Kern method, Muller method, ESDO, Tinker flow model, okay, Bell-Delaware method. The cell side estimation of a pressure drop and as a heat transfer coefficient gives more error in the case of Kern method, correct? So we know that Kern didn't account this stream analysis in his research to account those things to calculate heat transfer coefficient and pressure drop. Okay. So what Tinker did, he included all the streams. I hope you can share the slide. You all know the different streams in cell side, especially in cell side. Okay. So if you see it is here, the ideal case is that the flow will be like this, correct? Axial flow and cross flow. Okay. So the ideal flow will be like this in the cell side. So this is you have baffle, this is cell wall. So the cell side fluid flows like this. This is idealized condition. So here you have axial flow, here you have a cross flow. This is ideal case. But practically this would be the case. We don't have the flow like this. So Tinker and Bell-Delaware, Tinker is the very basic model, then Bell-Delaware expanded this stream flow analysis method to calculate the heat transfer coefficient and pressure drop in cell side. Okay. So when the analysis, because during the construction of heat exchanger, cell and heat exchanger, we are providing so much of constructional tolerances or clearances between tubes to here you see. So this is your cell wall, this is your baffle, this is your tube. Okay. And here you have a pass partition plate. At the center, if you have things, you have a pass partition plate. Okay, more than one cell passes, those things you have pass partition plates. Such cases again we have to give more space between the tubes and these partition plates. So these things will create the streams like different streams: A stream, B stream, C stream, E stream, F stream. Okay. So here this is our baffle. So this is our tube. So we will make a tube hole in the baffle. So baffle to tube hole, normally here you have to provide the clearance that will be around 0.8 mm. Okay. So such a cases what will happen? Some cell side fluids will flow through this gap. Okay. So this stream is called tube to baffle leakage stream, or you can call it as stream A. So the stream B is the cross flow stream, whatever is flowing here. Here it's like perpendicular lines, but that's not the case here. Okay, so it will go like this. Okay. So stream C is we have clearance between tube bundle to tube cell. Okay, so bundle to cell. So the liquid will flow through this clearance area between the outer tubes of the bundle and the cell diameter. So this clearance will vary with the type of exchanger. It may be fixed tube seat heat exchanger or UTP heat exchanger or pull through type exchanger in split ring or floating head exchangers. Okay. So in the last cases, this pull through type exchangers, we have a bigger clearances. So such a cases, what will happen? The liquid will flow through this gap. Okay. So we know that the liquid streams normally will take least resistant path. So the streams will flow through this gap. This is called stream C. Okay. Then other case here you have baffle and cell wall. Baffle and cell wall. So baffle to cell stream. This is baffle to cell leakage stream. The liquid will flow through the clearance between the edge of the baffle and the cell wall. This is another stream. This is another leakage. So then one more stream is stream F. Here it's the fluid flowing through the gap in the tube arrangement due to pass partition plates. If you make a partition plate like this, here you have to provide the space. So at least you should give minimum space. At least it should be more than half of your tube diameter. Okay, so that is the way. So this gap again leads to bypass streams. So Tinker and Bell-Delaware included these streams to account to estimate the heat transfer coefficient and pressure drop. Okay, that's called Bell-Delaware method. So Bell-Delaware method gives satisfactory prediction to estimate the heat transfer coefficient and pressure drop in cell site. Okay, so here Bell accounted these different streams, leakage streams, bypass streams, and cross flow streams. Those things. Apart from that, especially in pressure, to estimate the pressure drop, the zone-wise pressure drop estimation is carried out. Window zone, cross flow zone, and end zones. Okay. So the limitation of this method is the bypass flow area should not be greater than 30% of cross flow area. Such cases, the predicting ability of this Bell method is again a question mark. Okay, so this is the limitation. Bypass flow area should not be greater than your cross flow area. Okay, so before going to this Bell-Delaware method, we can understand some of the concepts related to related to estimation of different things that's involved in this correction factors. Okay, so if you see the side view of your exchanger, cell side of the exchanger, here you have a shell wall, here you have a baffle, correct? Here you have a baffle. Okay, this is your baffle gut. So these are all the holes made in the baffles to accommodate the tubes. So this zone is called window zone. So this is window zone. Okay, so this zone is window zone. You connect these. This is the window zone. This is your tube wall. This is your window zone. Okay, so these are all the tubes that can be accommodated in the window zone. Here you have the cross flow zone. Okay, so this is the cross flow zone. This zone again is called window zone. So this number of cross flow zone or number of window zones are different based on the number of baffles. Okay, so the zone between tube sheet thickness and the baffle is called end zones. So we have two end zones. Okay, so these are the things you should know. And here this is called your baffle spacing, distance between the two successive baffles, center to center distance between the baffles is called baffle spacing. Here you have clearance, no? This is the area between baffle and tubes, that is represented by ATB. So here you have a baffle to cell wall, that's called ASB. Cell to baffle, TB. TB represents tube to baffle, SB represents cell to baffle. Okay. So in this baffle to cell clearance, here you can see, if you see from the top, this will be your heat exchanger. This is top view, this is side view. Okay, this is another side. Okay, so if you see from the this is your elevation. So this is your plan. Okay, if you see from the top, it will be like this. Okay, if you see the side view of this, you will get this view. Okay, so just imagine how it would be. Okay, so apart from that, we should know these different things. Okay, what is HC, what is HB, what is bundle cut, what is the angle subtended by the baffle cord, okay, in terms of radians and bundle diameter. Because till now we have discussed only the baffle cut. Okay, so if this is your cell, here you can see this is your cell diameter. So this is your cell. So this is your bundle. Okay, so this is your baffle cut. Okay, this is the baffle cut. This is a fraction of portion that is being removed from the circular plate, that is baffle cut, HC. So HC is baffle height, that is H by D, or you can say H by D, or you can say BC is the fraction of the baffle cut. So DS is the diameter of the cell. So this is the baffle cut. So baffle cut normally we will fix it 0.15 to 0.45 times of diameter of the cell, correct? Okay, so you can do this. Okay, so but this is your bundle. So the bundle cut is different from this baffle. Okay, so the bundle cut is defined as HB by DB. It is HB by DB. So you should know the number of tubes here. Okay, so the total number of tubes here you know in the bundle, but these tubes will go into the window zone. These tubes normally will be accommodated in the cross flow zone. If you have two baffles here, this case, you have to remove the number of tubes available in this window zone and the number of tubes available in this window zone. So this will be normally accounted to calculate the number of tube rows in the cross flow zone. So for that, what you need, we should know the value of this baffle cut and bundle cut. Okay, so this dB is normally called bundle diameter. We know that shell diameter ID of the cell is equal to bundle diameter plus clearance. Okay, so these are all the sum of the things that you know. So here you can calculate the HB. How can you calculate the HB? So HB is, or you can say, so ds into BC, you can say that is ds into BC will give this value. What is this? This HC. Okay, so this is HC, height of the portion removed. This is bundle cut and this is baffle cut. Okay, so how you can write HC minus HB? HC minus HB will be normally what is that? So that is ds by 2 minus dB by 2. So what is ds minus by 2 dB by 2? So if you see here, so this is your ds by 2. So this is your dB by 2, correct? So what will you get? You will get this portion, correct? So what is that? That is HC minus HB. Okay. So ds is known, dB is known. If you know the ds by 2 minus dB by 2, you can calculate HC minus HB. So our unknown thing is HB. So HG is known. So you can calculate the HB value. So once you know the HB, you can calculate the NCV. So this double subscripts normally increased represents number of tube rows. Okay. So we know dB by PT will give number of tube rows in the center row, correct? So dB minus 2HB is bundle cut in the both the sides. Okay. So that will give the number of tube rows available in the cross flow zone. Okay, number of vertical tube rows in cross flow zone is represented by NCV. So dB minus 2HB by PT dash is the pitch. That is PT dash equal to PT for square pitch. PT dash is 0.87 times of PT for equilateral triangular pitch. Okay. So this NWV, you can say, you can calculate this bundle cut divided by PT dash. Number of vertical tube rows in window zone. That is NW. Okay. So we can calculate this NCV, NWV from the value of HB. Okay. To calculate the HB, you should know the value of dB and ds and baffle. Okay. So the number of tubes in the window zone, that is represented by NW. Okay. So as I already told, this double subscripts indicates number of vertical tube rows. This V is vertical tube rows, W is window zone, V is vertical, and C is cross flow zone. Okay. This single subscript always represents the number of tubes. Number of tube rows are different, number of tubes are different. Okay. So the number of tubes in the window zone is NW equal to NT into RA dash. What is RA dash? RA dash is bundle cross sectional area in window zone. So bundle cross sectional area in window zone to the total bundle cross sectional area, that is the RA dash. Because this RA dash and one more term RA, we have two different terminologies are there. So RA dash and RA, these things are not used in the exchanger because RA dash is different, RA is different. RA dash normally used for heat transfer coefficient estimation. Okay, that is based on bundle cut. RA dash is based on bundle cut. This RA is to calculate the pressure drop using the baffle cut. Okay, so this cut, if you refer this diagram, this represents both baffle cut and bundle cut. Okay, so here you can see RA dash and RA, both the things are available. So RA dash is for heat transfer coefficient, RA is for pressure drop. So RA dash is based on bundle cut, RA is based on baffle cut. Okay, so RA dash you can calculate bundle cross sectional area in the window zone to total bundle cross sectional area. So if you know the RA dash value, you can calculate the number of tubes in window zone. So what is NT? Total number of tubes. Similarly, you can calculate the number of tubes in cross flow zone. So once you know the number of tubes in window zone, if you have 2 times of NW, that is top baffle cut or bundle cut and bottom bundle cut. So in cross flow zone, you can subtract this 2 times of NW from total number of tubes. You will get the number of tubes in cross flow zone. Okay. So once you know the number of tubes, you can calculate the RW. That this RA is based on the area, RW, this is the ratio based on number of tubes. Okay. So the ratio RW is 2 times of number of tubes in window zone divided by total number of tubes. Okay. So similarly, you can calculate ATB. ATB is nothing but the area available for tube to baffle. Okay. So this is your tube OD. This is your tube hole. Okay. So how will you calculate? This is NT minus NW. That is, if you have a baffle like this, what will happen? So these are all the tubes available. Correct. So NT minus NW will give the number of tubes. So for one tube, this is the area. So if you take this, what will happen? This is your pi d naught by 2 normally. Okay. So this is the area available for flow. So this is circular one. No, if you expand it, it's like almost rectangular one. So this is the clearance. This is your perimeter. Okay. So that is pi d naught by 2. That's the averaging. So what you can do? You can calculate the ATB. ASB is cell to baffle. So similarly, you can calculate. This is the clearance. So ds by 2 or 2 pi minus theta b, because you have to calculate this area like this. So this is the area that we have to calculate to account this cell to baffle. So this is the clearance, cell to bundle. This ds is diameter of the cell by 2, that has to be corrected by 2 by minus theta b. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate the area in window zone, that is pi by 4 d square into RA. That is RA is the area ratio. Okay. So RA is the area ratio based on the baffle cut. So pi by 4 d square into RA minus this window zone. No? So number of tubes into cross sectional area of one tube. Pi by 4 d. This is the area available for fluid in the window zone. Okay. Similarly, you can calculate the leakage area. Leakage area is nothing but sum of a tube to baffle area and cell to baffle area. Okay. So bypass area is nothing but LB into ds minus dB. This is the bypass area. AB normally will be bundle to cell. ds minus dB is nothing but clearance. We multiply by the baffle spacing. That is the bypass area per one cross flow zone, or to the bypass area available in between two successive baffles, that is AB. So you should know to calculate all these things. Then we can go for the estimation of correction factor. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 correction factors in cell side. This HOC is the heat transfer coefficient for cross flow over ideal tube bank. First you have to calculate the HOC. HOC is nothing but heat transfer coefficient for cross flow over an ideal tube bank. It has to be corrected by these 4 different correction factors. That is tube row correction factor, window correction factor, bypass correction factor, and leakage correction factor. We will see how to calculate these correction factors. Okay, to calculate the value of cell side heat transfer coefficient. So this HOC is to be corrected using this correction factor. Normally this correction factor will be 0.6 to 0.9. Okay, 0.6 to 0.9. Yes. So HOC is ideal cross flow coefficient that can be calculated using this expression. Here you know this is JH, no? So if you see this equation, this is different from the earlier equation. So where we will use this D equivalent. Cell side estimation we will use D equivalent, but that is not the case here. This is D naught. Okay, HOC D naught by KF is equal to JH Reynolds number Prandtl number power 1 by 3 mu by mu W power 0.14. Okay, so Reynolds number is GS D naught by mu. The GS you know US into rho. Okay, so how to calculate this JH? You can refer this chart. Reynolds number versus heat transfer factor. So here, once you know the Reynolds number, you can calculate this JH. Okay. So once you know the JH, you can calculate the value of this Nusselt number ideal at ideal cross flow condition. Okay. So this is the value of HOC that you can calculate. Then it has to be corrected. So first correction factor is Tubro correction factor. So Tubro correction factor normally mainly vary with your flow conditions, laminar and turbulent. Okay, it will vary with laminar and flow conditions. So this Fn is equal to 1 for turbulent flow, closely 1 for turbulent flow. But in general, this Tubro correction factor is function of number of tube rows between the baffle tips. Number of tube rows between the baffle tips, correct? Baffle tips. Okay. So for turbulent conditions, you can calculate. If you see this here, it's more than 1, correct? This F1 is can be greater than 1, but if you see this, the maximum value is 1.05. So this is the chart for 10 tube rows. As I said, this Fn value vary with the tube rows, number of tube rows between baffle tips. So this is for 10 tube rows. So we have to refer the nomograms for 20 tube rows, 30 tube rows, based on that. But in the case of laminar, the condition is different. The Fn is expressed in terms of n dash c power minus 1.8. Because in laminar regime, what will happen? This thermal boundary layer plays major role. It drastically reduces the heat transfer coefficient. Okay, the formation of thermal boundary layer or the fuse boundary layer formation drastically reduces because this formation will be more in the case of laminar regime compared to turbulent. Okay, so NC dash is the number of rows crossed in series from end to end cell. This is different. So end to end, full. If this is your baffles, from the inlet to outlet, you have to calculate the number of tubes. So if you have 3 baffles, 1, 2, 3, 4, no. So if you dB by PT give the number of tube rows, so 4 times of dB by PT will be the number of tube rows crossed in laminar flow regime. Like that, you have to calculate this NC dash. Okay. So normally this Fn value is 1 for transition. Like this, we have to calculate the tube row correction. And window correction factor. So normally this window correction factor will have account the effect of flow through baffle window. Okay, effect of baffle window. This is the window zone. Okay, so in this zone only it accounts what is the effect. Okay, so this is the function of heat transfer area in window zone and heat transfer area, total heat transfer area. Okay, so you have to calculate RW. How to calculate RW? RW is 2 times of NW by NT. So what is NW? NW is NT into RA dash. Already we have discussed how to calculate RA dash. Okay, so RW is the ratio of number of tubes in the window zone to the number of tubes in bundle. Okay, so to calculate NW, we need the value of RA dash. RA dash is nothing but bundle cross sectional area in the window zone to tube bundle cross section area. Okay, so like this you can calculate the window correction factor. Okay, so another one is bypass correction factor. So as you seen in the graph, sorry, in the diagram, in the this diagram. Here you have the clearance between bundle to cell, correct? Bundle to cell. So this bundle to cell clearance is more, then what will happen? The bypassing area will be more. Okay. So if you use this pull through type of heat exchanger, then you have to provide the sealing strips, or you also, this is called as sliding strips, sealing strips or sliding strips. The function of sealing strips and sliding strips already we have discussed. Okay, so it's normally used to pull through the heat exchanger from the cell. That is one part. Another thing is that this will divert the flow of cell side fluid over the tube bank. So here you have to position, you have to fix the sealing strips and sliding strips at this portion. in the cross sectional area. Okay. So that's the idea of the ceiling strips. So the bypass area mainly discuss about the clearance area between the bundle to cell. Okay. So this is the expression used to calculate the bypass correction factor. So if you see this expression, we have different terminologies: alpha, AB by AS, then NS by NCV, those things. Okay. So what is AB? AB is the clearance area between bundle to cell. You can calculate this by multiplying the baffle spacing with the clearance. Okay, LB into clearance, or you can say LB into DS minus DB. Okay, this AS is the maximum area for cross flow. Already we have discussed this point in Kern method. Okay, so AS is PT minus D naught, that is the clearance, by PT DS into LB. Okay, what is this NS? NS is nothing but number of ceiling strips. So we know the value of NCV. So it is function of NCV. Normally for 5 NCV, 5 tube rows in the cross flow zone, normally we will provide 1 ceiling strip, approximately 1 ceiling strip. So minimum the ratio of this NS by NCV will be 1 by 5. That's the idea. Or you can say NS should not be less than or equal to NCV by 2. Okay, so if NS equal to NCV by 2, what will happen? This is NCV by 2, correct? NCV by 2 means cancel 1, this becomes 0. Okay, this becomes 0. Then how will you calculate? So this is become 0. So here you have to give at least some value. Okay. So then what will happen? E power minus alpha AB by AS minus, this is one terminology, correct? Then alpha into this terminology into this becomes 1. Okay, so like this, or if this becomes 1, this becomes 0. If this is 0, this is 0. E power 0, FB becomes 1. AB by AS. Okay, this becomes 1. Like this you can calculate. Normally we will use this ratio 1:5 ratio. Okay, and this alpha value is calculated so this alpha normally calculated using the expression yeah, this is alpha is function of your Reynolds number normally. Okay, alpha is function of Reynolds number, then alpha equal to 1.5 for a Reynolds number less than 100, then this value is 1.35 for Reynolds number greater than 100, or you can say a transition in turbulent flow, the value of alpha is 1.35. Okay, otherwise this alpha is 1. Okay, so that's you have two different. So you know the value of AB by AS and Reynolds number range, you can calculate the value of FB using this chart, or you can use this expression to calculate the value of FB provided for different Reynolds number. Alpha is 1.5 for Reynolds number less than 100, then alpha is 1.35 for Reynolds number greater than. Another one is leakage correction factor. So in leakage correction factor, you have to account this ATB, tube baffle, cell baffle, and total leakage area. Okay, so this AL is ATB plus ASB. Okay, so ATB we already discussed. This ATB can be baffle, tube to baffle clearance area. It is this is the you have to subtract the number of tubes in window zone. This much times of CT into pi D naught by 2 will give the ATB. ASB is CSDS by 2 into 2 pi times minus theta B. This is the angle subtended due to baffle. Okay, this AL is a total leakage area, that is sum of TB, ATB plus ASB. So once you know the AL by AS, AL is leakage, total leakage area, AS already you know how to calculate, that is PT minus D naught by PT into DS by DS into LB. DS into LB. So you can calculate L by AS. From this you can calculate the beta L. So substitute the beta L, calculate the F. Okay. So this is the way to calculate the leakage correction factor. So once you know the leakage correction factor, you can substitute all these values in the equation. Tube row correction factor, window correction factor, bypass correction factor, and leakage correction factor. You can find out the cell side heat transfer. Okay. So next is how to estimate the total cell side pressure drop. Okay. So as I said earlier, the total pressure drop is to be calculated zone wise. Here we have two end zones and NB window zones. Number of NB is nothing but number of baffles that can be calculated using this. This is length of the tube divided by baffle spacing minus 1. Okay. So that will be the number of baffles. So cross flow zones normally NB minus 1. How many number of cross flow zones you have. So zone wise we have to calculate the pressure. So 2 times of end zone, delta P, C is cross flow zone, pressure drop into NB minus 1 plus number of baffles, or you can NB is number of baffles times the delta P W, that is window zone. Okay. So first we will see how to calculate the cross flow zone pressure drop. Okay. First we have to calculate the delta PI as like your HOC. So ideal condition. Okay. So that is ideal tube bank, equivalent to ideal tube bank. Pressure drop calculated for an ideal tube bank condition. So that is delta PI. Then this delta PI has to be corrected using these two correction factors. This dash indicates for pressure drop. Okay, FB dash and leakage. So here we have to account both bypass and leakage factors. Okay, to account the pressure drop. Okay, so the pressure drop is calculated for an equivalent tube bank delta PI. So delta PI is 8 JF NCV, again number of tubes, vertical tube rows in cross flow zone. Rho is US square by 2 mu by mu W power minus 0.14. Okay. So JF is a friction factor that you can obtain from this chart for different Reynolds number. JH value you can calculate. Substitute the JF value. So NCV we have calculated already. Okay. Then you can calculate the delta PI. So this here you have to calculate the Reynolds number based on D naught, not D equivalent. That point you should remember. Okay. So once you know the delta PI, you have to calculate this bypass correction factor and leakage correction factor. Then you can calculate the cross flow zone pressure. So FB dash is bypass correction factor for pressure drop. So as I said, the same method we can use, but the value of alpha is different here. In previous case we used 1.5 and 1.35 for Reynolds number less than 100 and greater than 100. In this case for laminar regime, alpha equal to you have to use 5, and turbulent regime you have to use alpha equal to 4. So FB is equal to exponential of minus alpha, same formula, AB by AS times of 1 minus 2 NS by NCV power 1 by 3. Okay, so you know what is AB. AB is the clearance area between bundle and cell. You know what is AC, AS, maximum area for cross flow based on the bundle diameter. Okay, bundle diameter. Then this alpha B can be calculated based on Reynolds number. Okay, so using this expression you calculate the FB dash. Okay, so FB dash the same formula, but this alpha is different value, or you can directly calculate from this chart this FB dash. So another one is FL dash. So that is this will account both cross flow zone and window flow zones, window zones. Okay. So FL is the form. This is the formula. So you have to calculate BL dash from this diagram. So AL by AS is a ratio of leakage area to cell cross flow area. Okay. So AL you know that is ATP plus ASB. So to calculate AL you should know the value of ATP and ASB. In the same way you can calculate. Find out the BL dash. Then you can calculate FL dash. Okay, so this is the way to calculate the cross flow zone pressure drop. Next is window zone pressure drop. So in window zone pressure drop you can see, so this delta PW is FL dash. Here it accounts only the leakage. Okay. So Windows 1 we have only leakage stream. Okay. No other streams. So this FL dash in 2 times of 0.6 NWV, that is number of tube rows, vertical tube rows in Windows 1 into row UZ square by 2. Okay. So UZ is the geometric mean velocity, that is in window close zone. So UZ is root of UW into US. US you know how to calculate, that is flow velocity calculated based on cross flow area. Okay. So similarly you can calculate UW. UW is the velocity in the window zone based on the window area less than the area occupied by the tubes. That is the free area available for flow. That's the meaning. So this is the mass flow rate divided by AW by rho. This is the free flow area available in the window zone into density of the plate. That will give UW. Okay. So the geometric mean velocity UZ is root of VW onto US. Because US is different, UW is different. Because UW is flowing in the small cross-sectional area. Okay. So what does mean? UW will be greater than this US. So you have to average it. Okay. So NW is the number of vertical tube rows in the window zone. Okay. This is the way to calculate the delta PW. Then you have to calculate the end zone pressure drop. So in the end zone is nothing but the zone between the tube sheet and the baffle in both ends. So we have two end zones. This is your tube sheet, this is your baffle. Okay. So this delta P end zone is delta PI, ideal case pressure drop, that has to be corrected by this ratio NWV, because here you have one window, here you have one window. Okay. And also here you have the cross flow zone, here also you have the cross flow. So NWV plus NCV divided by NCV, that is to be corrected by FB dash, that is bypass correction factor. This has to be used to calculate the delta PE. So then you have to substitute all the values here. Delta PE and delta PC and delta PW, we can easily calculate the delta P. So this is the way to calculate the heat transfer coefficient and pressure drop in cell side using Bell-Delaware method. So here we have accounted all the streams, bypass streams, leakage streams, okay, and also we accounted the constructional tolerances, like you can say NCV, NWV, number of tubes in window zone, number of tubes in cross flow zone, and also we have corrected the velocity in the window zone. Okay, we have used geometric mean velocity. Okay, and we have calculated the ATB, ASB. Okay, so calculating this ATB and ASB, we have accounted the clearances between tube to baffle and tube to cell, sorry, bundle to cell. Okay, or can say baffle to cell. Everything is accounted. And bundle cut, baffle cut. Okay, the area correction. Okay, the area between number of the window zone area to total area, everything is accounted. So it's almost will give a better value when compared to Kern method. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you please ask. So I request you, you please refer this example problem in CR volume 6, 12.4. You can refer, or I can share it now here. Okay, so here I think you can see this 12.4 example available in page number 706. So it's the same problem. Okay, so number of tubes we know, cell ID know, bundle diameter is given, tube body we know, triangular pitch, pitch PT is given, tube length is given, baffle pitch is given. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to calculate the heat transfer coefficient. The ideal tube bank HOC you have to calculate. To calculate the HOC, you should know the Reynolds number. Reynolds number is GS D naught by mu. Okay, so this is GS you have to calculate. Okay, this thing simple thing. AS you should know. AS is 25, that is PD minus D naught by PD. This is 894 baffle, that is a diameter of the cell into baffle spacing. Okay, that is the cross flow area. So once you know the value of AS, you can calculate GS. From GS, you can calculate the Reynolds number. Know the Reynolds number, you can calculate the JH value. From the JH value, you can calculate the HOC. Here, this mu by mu W is assumed as 1. So this is the ideal case. Okay, based on the flow over a tube bank. Okay, then tube-Rho correction factor you have to calculate. So tube-Rho correction factor is function of NCV. So you should know the NCV. So and to calculate the NCV, you should know the baffle tips. This height between the baffle tips you should know. That is 894 is the cell diameter minus 2 times of 224. So what is 224? That is baffle cut height. 20.25 times of your cell diameter. That will give the 446. This is between the baffle tips. Okay, two baffles now. Two baffles. So top window zone, subtract bottom window zone. So that is 2 times of 224. That will be 446. So you will get MCV. Okay. So MCV is 20. So you can use the chart, then calculate the value of Fn. That is 1.0. Next, you have to calculate the window correction factor. So to calculate the window correction factor, you should know the value of this. What is this? This RW. RW you should calculate. Then only you can chart. You can use chart. So to calculate the RW, what you should know? You should know the value of NW and NT. Correct? Number of tubes in the window zone into total number of tubes. So RW is nothing but 2 times of NW by NT. So NW you have to calculate. NW is NT total number of tubes into RA dash. What is RA dash? RA dash is nothing but your bundle cross sectional area in window zone to total bundle cross sectional area. Okay. So to calculate that, you should know the bundle cut. Okay. So bundle cut, heat transfer coefficient, you will use bundle cut. For pressure drop, you are using baffle cut. Okay. So HB you have to calculate. HC minus HB is nothing but ds by d2 minus db by 2. So using that formula, you can calculate HB. Once you know the HB, you can calculate the what is this? You can find out the value of RA dash. From the figure, you can calculate, because x-axis we have cut. That cut represents for both baffle cut and bundle cut. Okay. So for this bundle cut, you can calculate the value of RA dash. RA dash is 0.18. So you can calculate tubes in one window area, that is 0.18 into 918, 165. Tubes in cross flow area is 918 minus 2 times of 165. So that will be the RW 0.36. So 0.36 versus FW, you can get the FW value, that is 1.02. Next, you have to calculate the bypass correction factor. Bypass correction factor, you should know the value of AB. You should know the value of AB and AC. That ratio is AB by AS. So AB is nothing but LB into DS minus DB. So this is your DS, this is your DB into your baffle spacing. That will give the AB. So AS already we have calculated, PD minus D naught by PD into DS into LB. So calculate AB by AS. For Reynolds number we have calculated already. Okay. So here you can use the sealing strips. Okay. So if you calculate without sealing strips, what happened? This FB is very low. So you have to improve the correction factor by introducing the sealing strips. So use NS by NCV 1 by 5. So drastically it is improved. Okay. That is 0.87. Then leakage correction factor, you have to calculate ATB, then ASB. Okay. Once you know ATB, ASB, you can calculate AL. So AL by AS is 0.45. Okay. From the figure, you can calculate AL by AS versus beta. You can calculate the value of beta L. Substitute in the equation, FL is equal to 1 minus beta L into ATB plus 2 times of ASB by AL. That will give 0.6. So this is your cell side. Approximately, if you see this value, this is lower than the current method. So if you see the example 12.1, the value predicted is very, very high. So the value is that case it comes around, I think I check the things with around 2740. Okay, so 2740. Now you see this value is also it reduced drastically. Even HOC, if you see 2272. Okay, the HOC itself is lower than your self-side heat transfer coefficient based on current method. So current method we are using D equivalent, correct? This D equivalent is replaced by D naught. So this your HOC comes down. Still it is lower. It's your correction factor is approximately how much times? That is, if you take 1.03 into 1.02 or 1246 divided by 2240. So of 0.6 comes around 0.56. Okay. So this value is lower than this value. So similarly, you can use can calculate the pressure drop in cross flow by Bell-Delaware method. So you have to calculate closed flow pressure drop, window zone pressure drop, and end zone pressure drop. Okay. So in cross flow zone, you calculate the RE. Okay. Reynolds number you have to calculate. Then calculate JF. Okay. So the velocity in cell side is 0.6 meters per second. Then this delta PI is ideal cross flow condition. Okay. So this around 1209.6 Newton per meter square. Next, in cross flow zone, you have to account both leakage correction factor and bypass correction factor. So for this case, the value of alpha is 4. So you can take the value of NS by CV is 1:5. Then your FB dash is 0.66. Similarly, you can calculate FL dash, that would be around 0.31. So your pressure drop in cross flow zone is 1209.6 times of this 0.66 and 0.31. Okay. So window flow, window zone pressure drop, you can calculate. AW you have to find out. So here you are using RA. Okay. So this is baffle cut is being used. In heat transfer coefficient, we are using the bundle cut. Okay. So AW you have to calculate. Then UW you have to calculate. It is 0.55 meters per second. So geometric mean velocity you have to. So here it's 0.66. Here the velocity is 0.6. Here the velocity is 0.55. So you take average. Both the things same. Geometric mean or average mean. Both the values are same. Calculate the NWB. Then find out delta P W. Okay. So delta P W is FL dash into 2 plus 0.6 times of NWV into rho UZ square by 2. 257 Newton per meter square. Then end zone pressure drop you have to calculate. This is delta PI. This is NWV plus NCV by NCV. That is around 1118 Newton per meter square. Okay, this is end zone pressure. So the total pressure drop is 2 times of your end zone, then NB minus 1 times of cross flow zone, then NB times of your window zone. Okay, that is 8.0. But this case in current method, the pressure drop is around 7.2 kilopascal. So this case it is on higher side. Okay, so the pressure drop in this case is on higher side. Okay, so this is the way to calculate the pressure drop in the case of Bell-Delaware method. Okay. So if you have any doubts, please ask. Hello.
Sir, I don't think they have any doubts, sir.
Okay. So this is Bell-Delaware method. So for single phase flow, so next class we can see the design of condensers. Okay, so this is just an idea. So because this is will give an idea how the current method is giving unsatisfactory result in cell side pressure drop and heat transfer coefficient estimation. In next class we will see the design of condensers. So condensers we have 4 different arrangements: horizontal cell side, horizontal tube side, vertical cell side, and vertical tube side. So now we are moving to we are complicating the system. Till now we have focused mainly the single phase flow. Okay, whether it's cell side or tube side. Now we will see if it is more than one phase, what will happen. Okay, how the design can be. So I request you all kindly refresh the basics of condensation. Okay, film-wise condensation, drop-wise condensation, how the equations are arrived to estimate the heat transfer coefficient for vertical conditions and horizontal conditions. Okay. So tomorrow we will see, we will start the discussion on design of condensers. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Sir, can you stop the recording, sir?
Yeah, please.